Why do employees work so hard, tirelessly for years for a company without fail, waking up in the morning and being there at 8 and leaving that office at 5, or being told what to do without fail, without questioning? What are the causes for this? Let's talk about them. 3 things here. Number 1, the system. The way you are brought up is this. You're born into a family. The minute you're born, you're taken to a church and you're indoctrinated into that particular church or mosque or whatever religion it is that you follow. Then you're taken to school, which teaches you how to follow rules, how to act as per what society wants you to act like. Look at the system of school. You go to school in the morning and you leave in the evening. Then at night, if you went to boarding school, you go to the class in the evening to study, and then you go to sleep. Then you're woken up in the morning. It's a cycle. Then when you go to high school, or if you went to a day school, you attend the school at a certain particular time, maybe 7 or 8 in the morning, and then at 4 p.m. you leave. Then in high school, it's the same. Then some of you who went to campus or college, it's the same system where you go to class at a particular time and leave at a particular time. You're taught when the teacher comes in, you need to stand up. You're taught when you want to ask a question, you need to raise your hand. You're taught that when you want to deal with a certain situation, you do it yourself. That's when you even have group work. When you're doing the presentation, you do it yourself. You're taught that when you have an exam, once you get, say, 80% out of 100, they don't concentrate on the 80%. They concentrate on this 20% so that you see the problem that you already have. It is put in you. It is ingrained in you. It is put there for that program to work efficiently. Thus, when you get into the employment system, you're already used to go into that job at 8 in the morning without question. If the boss comes in, you already know you need to keep quiet. The same way you used to keep quiet when the teacher is in the class. You already know that when you do not question the boss, the same way you did not question your teacher. You already know that at a particular time at 5 p.m., that is when you're supposed to leave. That is when you clock out. Why? Because in school all those years, that is how you are taught. In church, that is how you are taught. Number 2, you do not have questions and find answers to why and how to change this lifestyle. Thus, what happens with you here is, while you are there, your mind is constantly telling you this is not the right place to be. You need to move and go start a business because you know, like my friend asks here, you have an acre, and if you plant onions on that 1 acre, it's going to give you more money than that job will give you maybe in 6 months or even a year for most people. But you're programming, because you're not taught how to ask and question it. You continue with that lifestyle of work because this is a new programming that you don't understand, and you're fearing to program it into your mind now so that it becomes the new program for you to move with it. Number 3, very honest here. The life that you're already accustomed to, this one that is being programmed to you, is very hard to change because this new program is completely new and your mind does not want new things. That is why any person who has ever introduced any form of new technology was always beaten by society because they do not understand what is this. The person who brought up the first phone, people are fearing because they don't understand how is this big person communicating with somebody across the country while you're still here. How are we seeing the first person who brought up the TV? How are we seeing people on a box? The first person who brought up anything, even light, bulbs, was beaten up by people because they don't understand. Their programming does not allow them to question and get those answers. Thus, what do we do then? For you to be able to move from this employment and enter a new programming where your life is under your control now, not under the mercy of a boss. You become the boss of your life, that you do your business the way you want it. You have to stop and pause and actually start whatever it is you want to start. Plan it properly. Like this. I want to start planting, I want to start farming for onions. Instead of going to the plot of land and actually starting, go to where the onions are sold. Learn about them. Go to a farmer who's actually doing the same. Ask questions so that you have a programming that these are where onions are sold. This is the lifespan for onions. These are the chemicals for onions. These are the types of soil that you need. Do we need to do a survey somewhere? How do we get these onions from here to the market? If they don't sell, where do people take them? How do I actually get somebody who's going to assist me with the money to do this and that? You instill that programming before you go to that land and start planting the onions. In the process, you start learning. Sometimes it fails, sometimes you don't sell, sometimes no one buys from you, sometimes the weather decides to mess you up, sometimes insects decide to, or pesticides decide to mess you up, but you get a new programming as compared to this one that you have been taught since the time you were born.